Emily Carter's first reaction upon receiving the legal papers affirming she was the sole beneficiary of her uncle's estate on Grayson Hill was to set fire to them. She hadn't entered that house since she was 8, when the screams began. Her mother had only taken her there for one summer, a summer of endless nights, barricaded doors, and the incessant scratching of something within the walls. Her uncle, Dr. Richard Halloway, a solitary neuroscientist, lived by himself and didn't say much. He was white-haired, thin, and used to stare at walls as if something was staring back. He disappeared later that year. No indication of struggle, no goodbye, just gone. The police searched the house, discovered his lab tightly sealed, the windows black painted. His study was a labyrinth of books on memory, consciousness, and ancient psychological rituals, but no trace of foul play. And now, 15 years later, Emily had inherited the house. She attempted to sell it. No one would purchase, not even the state. Too many tales, they explain. A past seeped into the foundation itself. Therefore, when her mother died and her last relationship fell apart in betrayal, Emily had nowhere else to go. No one. The house, ironically enough, was the only thing she owned. She showed up during a downpour. The front door creaked open of its own accord, as though the house had been waiting. The air was stale, heavy with rot and mold, but also something sweet, unobtrusive, like rotten perfume. Inside, everything remained unchanged. Dust covered every inch, and shadows hugged the corners like cobwebs. Furniture was draped in white sheets that resembled alarmingly like shrouds. Her childhood room remained untouched. A wooden music box still lingered on the dresser. When she opened it, it sang a song she couldn't remember. Something soft and slow like a lullaby. But in reverse, that night she didn't sleep at all. And when she did, she dreamt of fingers tapping beneath the floor. The knocking carried on the night after. It began at 3:12 a.m., the same time every time. A gentle knock-knock, knock-knock, as if someone needed to be let out rather than in. Emily remained motionless, feigning ignorance of it, but it became louder, nearer. She climbed out of bed, took a flashlight, and made her way down the creaking staircase. The light flashed as she made her way down to the basement, a cavernous, unfinished room of rock and dirt, littered with detritus from her uncle's strange obsessions. Ancient CRT monitors, torn brain scans, jars filled with what appeared to be preserved nerves suspended in formaldehyde. The air chilled, not cold, damp cold. It stuck to her skin, seeped through her clothes. And then she noticed it, a portion of the wall that appeared off-kilter, like a brick ever so slightly bulged outward, disrupting the symmetry. She ran her hands along the notches. It wasn't brick, it was wood, a hatch. She forced it open. Behind it, a steeply inclined, narrow shaft, roughly cut into the ground. It resembled a tunnel dug by panicked hands rather than a constructed passage. The knocking ceased the instant she raised the hatch. There was silence in the room. Then from the depths below, faintly, "Emily, you're home." Her breath caught in her throat. She let the flashlight fall. It spun, flickering on the stone floor, casting dizzying shadows on the walls. Something shifted in the tunnel. She slammed the hatch closed and stumbled up to the top floor, her heart a drum in her ears. She slept with the lights on again, clutching the journal she discovered the next morning. She found the journal hidden in the crumbling books behind the study. It had a scorched leather cover. The interior was disordered, exploded diagrams of the human brain, circuitry scribbled by hand, severed Latin phrases, and compulsive handwriting that broke down over the pages. But it wasn't the insanity that unsettled her. It was the precision. Each word was calculated, measured, constructed to be discovered. One had been repeatedly circled, dated 2 weeks prior to his vanishing. It lives beneath. It is not ghost, not demon. It is decay itself. It is regret given shape. The house feeds it, or perhaps it is the house. I built the barrier, but it learns. It adapts. It remembers what we forget. The knocking is not it trying to escape. It's me trying to warn you. Another page, ragged at the edges, was a map of the house, but the basement had 3 additional rooms. None of them existed, at least not in any form she could perceive. That evening, the voices came back. Not faint whispers, not dreams. They came from the walls. They spoke in her own voice. You left her alone. You always leave them. She leaned back against the bedroom door, eyes fixed in the mirror. Her face, white, pinched, dark circles under her eyes. And behind her reflection, her uncle, standing in silence, smiling. She spun around. No one. But on the surface of the mirror, her reflection remained just a second too long. On the 4th night, Emily mustered the courage to unlock the padlocked room upstairs. It wasn't locked anymore. There was a chair, a mirror, and a tape recorder. Old, dusty, still operating on some impossible power source. It clicked, started playing. Her uncle's voice, "If you're hearing this, it's already inside you." The house listens. It finds your weakest memories, your deepest regrets, and then it makes you live them, over and over. Burn the journal, leave the house, do not look into the mirror. She looked into the mirror anyway, and saw herself, but not quite. Her reflection was smiling. Emily attempted to leave. Her car wouldn't move. The road out of Grayson Hill had buckled in a storm the previous night. The phone lines were out, and when she opened the front door, it opened directly back into the house. The house had moved. Rooms swapped positions, windows opened up in walls, and that rhythmic pounding down in the basement had come back. Louder, angrier. She tracked it again, resisting every impulse. Further into the tunnel this time. There she discovered a bone door. When she opened it, she was inside, crying in the corner, mouthing apologies to no one. But when she touched out, the other her turned her head up with black eyes and shrieked in a voice that shattered the stillness. The presence wasn't a ghost. It wasn't a demon. It was the house itself, constructed by a cult fixation on memory, with the notion that all feelings ever experienced, particularly the bad ones, left a trace. Decade after decade, it gained sentience, became alive, starved. Dr. Holloway attempted to keep it caged, but he'd employed his own regret to do so, and it fed upon him until he had nothing more to give. Now it had Emily. It did not want her dead. It wanted her to recall the shame of seeing her mother pass away in a hospital bed while she remained outside, not able to enter. The friend she left during a panic attack, the father whom she never forgave, the secret she hidden so deep that she no longer remembered they belonged to her. And the further she recalled, the larger the house became. On the 7th day, Emily ceased to fight. She traversed the house's halls like a phantom now. Hollow eyes, mum lips. Whispers no longer intimidated her. They were hers. All of those memories that she never cared to experience once now cycled constantly, from room to room, like a series of works in an exhibition of sorrow. Sometimes folks report seeing her from the road, a ghostly figure in the top window, looking at nothing. The Grayson Hill house remains, vacant, but not abandoned, because the house is never vacant. It merely waits for someone else with secrets, for someone else who can't forgive themselves. Perhaps you.